I'm flicking these little seed pods around as I prepare for the practice this morning. There's these plants here, and they have these little round, pellety, sticky kind of seed pods. And the dogs go running through bushes and come out covered with them. So now my house is full of them. So if you see me flicking stuff, it's not bad energy. It's just little bits that my dogs have dropped. Lovely. So our last practice of 2024, and as we are kind of slamming into what can be a challenging time of year, thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of do a little bit of an energetic check-in. And although I tend to ground into science more than, the energetic realm of chakras, I do like to think about energy centers as a reminder and as a focus and kind of a little bit of just a way to embrace things. So I would say, however you feel about these little wheels spinning along the midline of the body, open yourself up to the magic of it because it is that time of year. So as you're seated here today, drop your shoulders down, kind of wiggle in. We want to keep some engagement in the core, but kind of let other areas just soften. And again, it's that nice reminder as we do kind of approach the holiday season. I mean, some of us are well into it already. I'm always a little bit of a heel dragger. But as we are going to approach kind of our work around the chakras today, I want you to be comfortable taking or leaving what you like. And that's really the approach we should take to the weeks ahead. Take or leave what you like without judgment. So as we start to breathe deeply, let's just kind of do a quick run through as part of our check-in with these energy centers. And I'm going to give a very basic kind of thematic overview of each one of them. But start to draw your attention to the root chakra. So it's kind of the lowest one that we reference. And this is your center for instinct. It's a reactionary center. And it's really important. It's very primal. It's kind of our first chakra that awakens. Some people think of it as a very masculine center. I would be lost without my root chakra. If we move up to the sacral chakra, that is kind of located around kind of where we would find the female reproductive organs, just kind of around the sacrum area. And the sacral chakra is your center for creation, creativity. This is where kind of it's nice that it's located next to the base chakra. If you can combine those two, that's often what I do for decision making. Those of you who know me know that I do that more so than involving wisdom. Good center for sure. Let's move up to the solar plexus chakra. So think about this as your core, the center of things. So your solar plexus chakra is your center for physical and emotional strength. Breathe into this area for a moment and just kind of, part of this check-in is just bringing awareness to the area, but noticing how is it feeling, especially as some of us are partway into that holiday season. Let's move up to the heart center, the Anahata. It is your center of compassion, love, generosity, gratitude. It all flows through the heart. Again, nice that it is located close to the solar plexus. Think about that energetic exchange that can happen between neighbors. Moving from the heart up to the throat, this is often associated with speech, our center for truth. I also feel this is a center for justice, but that's just me and many years of being a journalist. The center of communication. It is good that it's located between the heart and the third eye, our center for wisdom. So let's go up to the third eye, knowledge center, center of wisdom. This is one that we have to do. People talk about the gut check. I got to do the third eye check. For so much. Understand lived experience. I don't know if the rest of you are like me. Often I forget how old I am. And that I do have some wisdom that I should probably use more often than I do. So with the third eye, understanding, especially at this time of year, use that wisdom, tap into it. Use it to understand yourself, use it to understand others, use it to understand the world around you. It's a place to make sense. And finally, we go up to the crown. In my mind, it floats over top of my head, sometimes like a halo, sometimes like one of those handheld sparklers that we use at celebrations. The crown is your connection to the universe, to the unknown, to the magical, to the divine. The crown is the one that needs to be open in order to receive universal knowledge and understanding. So in your mind, as you continue to breathe and probably sit uncomfortably, think about these as energy centers that, symbolically we see them as wheels that spin. And when things are good, they're spinning in a comfortable way. When things are not good, they can be stuck or spinning out of control. These energy centers are expressive and receptive. They are pulling energy in, but also putting energy out. So as we move through today, think about which of these centers might need a little bit of extra care. Just acknowledge, notice. And with that awareness, we can move forward in a better way. Slowly open the eyes and sweep your arms up over top of the head. Connect the hands, stretching up, and just kind of move around in this posture a little bit. And when we think about those energy centers, that's when we start to think about kind of some of the yoga postures, right? Even a posture like this, think about the energy flowing up, maybe opening it up, or we keep the hands together to keep within. That's the notion of mudras, those energy locks. Let's lace the fingers, pulling up. Maybe tilt your head back. And then bring the shoulders all the way down. Nice. Let's move on to the hands and knees, and we're going to start moving through our practice, our physical practice. So on hands and knees, let's start with a little bit of cat-cow to warm up the spine. And again, think about when we really focus on the spine, we're opening up those energy channels. So let's take a slow, deep breath in, head and tail lift. Exhale, arching the back, head and tail tuck. Inhale, head and tail lifting. Exhale, reversing, rounding through the back. Inhale, head and tail. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Come to a flat back, bring your toes together. We're going to start to ease back into a child's pose, just sinking forward gently. Slowly come back up to the hands and knees. We're going to continue with cat-cow here and notice if anything has shifted physically. So inhale, head and tail lift. Exhale, rounding the back. Inhale, head and tail. And exhale. Inhale, head and tail lift. Exhale, rounding the back. Let's do one more here. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So keeping in the tabletop posture, we now want to fire up through that solar plexus area. And we're going to do that with a tiger pose. So this is a fairly, it can be challenging, so embrace it to the best of your ability. Get ready to wobble and continue to breathe while you hold this. So I'm going to start by extending my left arm forward. Try and line it up here. It's kind of down here. So I'm going to use my right leg, extending it back. Neck is long, gaze is down. Let's hold for 3 or 4 breaths, really tight through your core. Feel that core working. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Just shift your weight if you need to. And then we go to the other side. So we've got our right arm, left leg. Lots of deep breaths. Hand comes down, knee comes down, toes together, walk it back to a child's pose, slowly sinking in, lots of deep breath.
Slowly rising back up to the hands and knees. A little bit more cat-cow here. Again, noticing if things are flowing energetically, if physically things are feeling different. Let's breathe in, head and tail lift. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathing in and out. Inhale, deep breath. And exhale. Back to our tabletop, pull the core in and back. And we're going to go back to our tiger pose. So left arm extends, right leg back. Strong. I like to really flex the foot. And while you're here, make sure the core is pulling up and back. Let's see if we can hold it a little bit longer this time. Hand comes down, knee and leg come down. Let's move to the other side, extending your right arm and the left leg comes back. Again, tighten up around that solar plexus. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Walk your way back. You can either sit in hero for a moment to breathe, or you can flip your toes and come into a foot stretch, which is what I'm going to do. Sit here for a moment and breathe. When we move into that tiger pose, it is so great for the solar plexus area. It is a posture that requires a lot of strength. But when we think about the position and understand that combination of physical strength and emotional strength, it is a hard posture. It's physically hard to hold it. But what happens is the emotional side starts to emerge as well, right? So we have those feelings about, oh my God, this is hard, or I can't do it, or why am I wobbling, or I'm going to fall. Breathing into that solar plexus area, practicing being emotionally discomforted. I don't even know if that's the thing. Practice being uncomfortable emotionally in order to go a little bit further with the strength. It's okay. It's a really unique relationship that one area has, very yin and yang at times. Good. Speaking of discomfort, I'm going to walk my way out of this foot stretch now. Back to the hands and knees. Let's do a tiny bit more cat-cow. I've brought my knees apart. Inhale, head and tail lift. Again, noticing what's happening in that low back area. And exhale, rounding. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Good. So you know we're going to do tiger one more time, right? And this time I'm going to invite you to see if you can extend back and grab a foot with the hand. You don't have to, you can. It's going to make it more challenging. It's going to tap into that emotional strength. as you try to kind of will your way through it. So see how it goes. Let's start left arm, right leg. So we're breathing a lot here, really getting into a nice, consistent breath, tight through the core. And then if you would like, bring the arm back, bring the foot to the hand, holding here and breathing. Think about that solar plexus chakra firing up. See if you can extend back into that full expression of the tiger. And then bring your hand down, bring the knee down. Take a couple of breaths. This is probably the hardest thing we're going to do throughout the entire practice. We're just going to do the other side, and then we will move on. All right, when you're ready, right arm, left leg, starting in the full expression of the pose. Nice and stable, nice and strong. You want to reach back, you can. Guarantee this side is going to be more challenging, more wobble, more perseverance required. Check your core, check your breath, check your smile. It will help. And releasing down. Knees are going to move much wider apart, toes together. Ease your way back into a reward of a child's pose. Ease back up here onto the forearms and the knees. Bring your knees closer together. Clasp your hands. And from here, we're going to be moving into the dolphin. And the dolphin is great for the heart. This is an actual inversion. But what I want you to focus on is your root chakra. So we're basically going to be lifting the butt to the sky and allowing energy to kind of reverse flow. I'm going to flip my toes while y'all think about that. And let's take a slow, deep breath in. And then exhale, keep that core tight, lifting up and back. Let the head just hang in space. In posture, you can often feel that low back decompressing. Slowly lower to the knees, uncurl the toes, and just move back slowly to a child's pose.
Let's move back into that posture. So coming onto the forearms, bringing your hands together as I flick a ladybug away with zero compassion. Somewhat satisfying, however. I'm going to flip my toes under here, tight through the core, taking a slow, deep breath in so I can exhale as I lift and push back. Maybe adjust the feet, feel some comfort here. Again, let that head hang in space. We're decompressing the cervical spine. Couple more breath. Slowly lowering. Ease back into your child's pose, and you have an option here. You can get your forehead down to the mat, and again, think about that connection with the third eye. You can keep your arms forward, or let the arms come back. Coming into what we call the rabbit, you can have your hands resting on your feet or beside the body. Release your arms, bring them back forward, just pushing back up into the hero. Bring your shoulders back and down. And I just want to invite you to take a moment, bring your hands together in front of the heart, shoulders drop down. Close your eyes and take a moment here to breathe. And while you are sitting in this posture, take a moment to engage through the core, lifting up a little bit so you're not compressing into that lower spine. Hey, Jeff. And just do a quick check-in, noticing how you're feeling. And then releasing your arms. Good. We're going to come forward now all the way down to the tummy so that we can work on some king cobra postures. So let's just move down to the mat in whatever way you find to be the most comfortable. So we want to have the tops of our feet pressing into the floor. Hands are going to come out to the sides. My elbows are up. And I'm taking a few moments. So normally with a baby cobra, and we can do a few of those first, tight through the core. As we inhale, we kind of roll the shoulders up and back just to lift the chest up. And then slowly controlled descent back down. For a full cobra or a king cobra, we're going to take a breath in. And then exhale, pushing up, and you're really using the arms, come up as high as you can to begin. And then exhale down. We're going to kind of change the arms based on what you need for comfort. And let's go again. So pushing up. Slowly down. We're gonna keep going with these. Lifting up. And down. Moving up. And down. So this is great for heart center. Let's lift up again.
and down. Moving up. And down. How about we try one more here? Lift up, let's hold this time. Maybe going further. And back down, good. Head to one side, relax the arms. From here, pull the hands back towards the armpits. You're gonna flip your toes. We're gonna just lift forward, up. Pushing into playful puppy. So the heart center is moving towards the floor, forehead on the mat, butt in the air. Enjoy a nice stretch through the back. And then pulling the forearms and the hands back, keep the toes flipped, and let's go up and back to a down dog. Lots of deep breath here. And then walk the hands back towards the feet. So we can start to lift up. And moving into our standing posture. Nice. Give a little roll or a little shake. Butter tastes really good. Beautiful. So to keep the energy flowing through kind of the midline of the body, that King Cobra move we did, we're now going to kind of replicate that, but we're going to do it in a standing posture. This is great to kind of get all of those wheels spinning. It's also great for low back, especially for anybody who's got lumbar spine concerns. This is in the physio world, this is referred to as a Mackenzie extension. So it's nice to see how yoga postures are borrowed for everyday use now. So to do this, and sometimes this is an easier way to do that back bend as opposed to being on the floor. So my feet are wider than hip width apart. My shoulders are up, back, and down. And I'm going to bring my hands to rest on the back. What we want to do is actually start to lean back as far as you're comfortable with. Create this beautiful back bend. Let your head come back. And then slowly coming back to center. So we're going to do a number of those. Again, work within your comfort zone, work within a range of motion that you're okay with. And don't have all this stress in your chin. Like, you really want to be able to bring the head back, relax the jaw, get that beautiful stretch there too. So let's do that again. Gently lifting up and back. Forward. Let's go again. And up and back. We're going to do a few more. Do 2 more of these. And then 1 more. Make it a good one. Release the arms down. This time, let's create a sacral mudra. So creating almost this little triangle shape.
placing it around the sacral chakra, roll the shoulders down, soften through the arms. And we're going to hold this mudra here. Close your eyes, breathing in. So as we spend some time here after doing those back bends, this is a great way to open up through the sacral chakra area. This is our center of problem solving, right? It's creativity. Think of the 5 million times you might need this energy center in the next few weeks. Breathe, let it be open. And by creating the mudra, we're directing more energy to this area. And releasing the arms, shoulders roll. Nice. I'm laughing because I have a lot of problem solving. I'm not an overly social person. And I have, you know, as we're in a very different time now, we can do different things. We have social options, which is difficult because at this time of year they kind of stack and I have a bunch of stuff I got to figure out. Well, I can do this for a little bit and then go do this. And it's such a gift, but I need this to sort out all the logistics. Nice. I'm giving the shoulders a little bit of a roll back. And then a little bit of a roll forward. Awesome. I'm going to invite you to bring your feet even further apart. And we've done this previously, but we're going to come into a wide-legged downward facing dog. So when we come into this posture, it allows us to hold the kind of challenging components of downward facing dog more through the solar plexus chakra area, so more through the core and the hips as opposed to the hands and the wrists. This should allow us to get a bigger stretch along the back, which again, think about when we create space, more space for energy to flow. So how we do this, if you want to just eyeball your screen for a moment or listen really carefully, when I do this, I sweep up and then I'm going to exhale, coming forward. I want my hands to find the floor, and then I walk forward, keeping the hands shoulder width apart. And then I actually physically roll into my hips so that I'm sinking the head between the arms. To release, we walk this back and we roll up. If the stance is too wide, you can just adjust it. I might have been a little bit too wide. So we're going to come in and out of this, and then we're going to add the archer. And the archer is a beautiful posture. We do that coming from a warrior two position, where we do this really nice motion with the arms. It's a great bit of nerve flossing that we get to do when we kind of approach that, but also think about opening up through not only the heart, but it's also bringing energy to the throat. So let's sweep up. Nice deep breath here. Really lengthen up and then swan dive forward gracefully, beautifully. Find the floor, walk your hands forward just a step or two, and then roll back into your hips. You can get that head between the shoulders. And then walk the hands back, slowly rolling up. Root to rise, grab the energy, pulling it up, looking up, and then a beautiful exhale down. Nice. Roll your shoulders back. We're going to move a foot out to the side and start to come into a warrior two stance. So I'm just sinking in. first time we've done this posture, so you might have a little bit more tightness through your hip flexors. That's okay. I'm gonna do my little hack here and bring my heel closer to y'all than my toes. That allows me to open up through the inner thigh. I want to take my back shoulder back. So I'm going to roll it back, opening here. And then I'm going to sink into this beautiful warrior two, nice and strong. Couple of breaths. To turn this into the archer, I'm going to rotate that front hand so the palm is facing forward, thumb is up, and the other arm pulls back. And as I pull fingers forward and pull elbow back, really nice energy, thinking about how we are aligning this with the heart. But think about your thumbs. They're shooting an arc of energy back and forth. That's hitting the throat, tight through the core. Keep the hips tucked under. Breathe. Sweeping up, straighten that foot. Connect your hands. So again, think about this. We are tapping into the crown energy here. Exhale forward. Hands come down. Walk it forward here. Roll back into your hips. Deep breaths. Walk your hands back, rolling up. We're going to move to the other side. So my foot's going to come out on an angle. Heel is a little bit closer to the camera than the toes are, sinking into that front knee. Shoulders roll back, extending through the arms. So drop your hips, really pulling apart between the fingertips. And then let's rotate that front hand, pull back. Keeping it strong, deep breaths. Let's release, sweeping up, straightening the foot all the way up. Really reaching up here, and then again, swan dive forward. Walk your hands out, roll back into the hips. Walk the hands back, rolling up tight through the center, root to rise, throw that energy around. Roll your shoulders. I'm getting pretty wide in this stance, so I'm just going to pull it back in a little bit. Then I'm going to bring my foot out, easing in here, warrior two. Moving into the archer, again, keeping everything aligned with heart. And keep pulling back through that elbow, reaching forward. Releasing, sweeping up, straighten the foot. Exhale, coming down. Walk the hands forward, roll back into the hips.
Walking back, root to rise, lifting up. Last time. On the other side. Start with your warrior two. Once you're feeling comfortable here, pulling back into the archer. Make sure you're pushing back into the outer edge of that back foot. Don't let it roll in. Releasing, sweeping up. Hold here. Roll your shoulders down the back. Bring your feet to about the halfway point. Shoulders roll back. One more back bend here. Back to center. Good. Nice. Little shake. Dano's like trying to tiptoe by all quietly. Let's do one more little bit of a stretch. Great for the hip flexors, just to open stuff up before we come down to the mat. So very basic stretch here. I'm going to bring one foot out on an angle. I'm going to step forward with the other foot. We're going to be coming into a warrior one stance. Shoulders are dropping down. Hips are tucked under. Good. I'm going to bring my hand to the hip of the front bent leg. My other arm extends up. Keep the hips tucked under. Try and keep your balance here. We're lifting up and then we're going to cross over the midline. So you're getting that really nice active stretch. Hold and breathe. And releasing. Let's move to the other side. So foot steps out on an angle, other leg comes forward, sinking into your warrior one leg stance. I'm tucking the hips under, getting a deeper stretch here. Then my arm comes up, crossing over the midline. I'm adding this for me. My hip flexors are really tight because I was climbing on rocks yesterday. And let's release. Nice. I often do that. I'll set out for a dog walk and I just think, oh, I want to get to this place because it's really pretty, and then I forget there's like some pretty challenging range of motion that's required to get there and back, and that's often when I forget that maybe I'm not as young as I once was and I need to do a little bit of better preparation and aftercare. Nice. All right, let's come on down to the mat. I'm going to bring my camera a little bit closer. So settling on to your back, Bring the heels close to the bum. And really deepen the breath here. Let's bring the left knee in. And I'm using quite a bit of pressure to pull this knee back. And then very slowly, I'm going to release the other leg so it's fully extended. Let's slowly let that leg come out to the side. Just gently supporting with the arm. Then I'm going to switch hands and guide that knee and that leg across the midline of the body. Find the spot that you need to get into. So maybe you need something for the low back, maybe for your piriformis. Back to center. Extend this leg up into the air. Straight leg, flexed foot, shoulders back. Hold and breathe for a few moments. And then slowly bring the foot down. Bring your other knee into the tummy. Again, pulling it back. Then extend the leg out on the floor. Keep that pressure on. So you're pulling and pushing that knee closer to the chest. And then let that leg come out to the side. Deep breaths. Make sure you're not clenching through the glutes. Slowly crossing the midline. Again, positioning yourself wherever feels good. Daddy. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, good stretch, Tim. Let's bring that leg up into the air, flexing the foot. And then let's bring both knees to the tummy. Hug them in nice and tight. Bring your arms out to the sides, bend at the elbows like a cactus. And let's slowly lower the legs down to one side while the head turns to the other. And then switching sides. Move back to center, reach through the knees to the feet. Spend a moment in butterfly. One last chance to kind of create almost a complete mudra here with the body. Keeping the energy really directed around heart center, root, crown, everything's kind of included in this. You could stay in this posture longer if it feels good. Otherwise, gently push the knees together and get ready to move into whatever posture you need for your Shavasana. As we get ready to wrap up the practice. With my apologies, because we're going to go a couple of minutes over time. So as you're resting on your mat, draw your attention back to the midline. And as you deepen your breath, bring the shoulders back as far as you can, sinking into the floor. Start by drawing your attention to the root. Breathe in to support instinct, responsiveness, intuition. Moving up to the sacral chakra, creativity, imagination. Up to the solar plexus, breathe in deeply for physical and emotional strength. Up to heart center, compassion. Remembering, of course, it's compassion for you as well as for others in the world around you. Up to the throat, truth, communication, justice. Great responsibility through this energy center. Moving up to third eye, knowledge, wisdom, lived experience. A deeper perspective. And then finally, up to the crown, your connection with all that is magical, wonderful, unknown.
any of these areas still needs a little bit of love, send it a blessing now. And then take one more really big stretch, head to toe. One more chance to create space for those wheels to spin. And then move up to your seated posture. Let's bring our hands together in front of the heart. Again, locking in energy at that kind of midpoint. And allow me to once again, not only thank you for a lovely practice today, but for joining me throughout this year. I hope it was a wonderful year for folks. And I also hope, if I can have one wish, that people will want to come back in 2025 and keep going with this wacky off the cuff Sunday morning practice, because it brings me so much joy. So I wish you all the best for a beautiful holiday season. I hope you will find meaning and peace. Whatever wishes you have, I hope that they will come true. I can't wait to see you in 2025. Namaste.
Thank you so much, Barb. Have a great holiday and New Year's. See you next year.